There's a lot of weird shit that's happened in the world, and some of it makes for good stories.
Facts are for assholes. Let me say that again, because I'm kind of feeling weird about the way I'm saying the word facts today. Facts. Facts are for assholes. Facts. I don't mean that nobody benefits from the scientific method or whatever, but our cultural tendency to reduce things down to just the facts, ma'am, it ignores, first of all, the fundamental dishonesty of academia, because in order for something to be proven as true, data has to be gathered and restricted and massaged for a while. And then, in the end, only the smallest of minor quibbles can possibly be quote-unquote proven. Which, of course, doesn't stop anybody from blowing it all out of proportion on the news or an episode of Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Paula, a British psychologist, has determined that the best way for a man to attract a woman at a nightclub is to do what?
Show her money.
Actually, flash the cash.
Yes.
No. In order to do this correctly, one must wear a white polyester three-piece suit with a black shirt, opened halfway to the navel.
Disco dancing?
Yes, but disco dancing specifically like whom?
Like John Travolta?
Exactly right. Dance like John Travolta. Women like nothing better than a man confident enough to strut his stuff, Travolta style, on the dance floor.
You know, I've really been suspect of some of the studies that you guys mentioned. Where did you get that study?
But the other thing our emphasis on cold, hard facts does is it delegitimizes feelings. It's hard not to see it in terms of misogyny, but it's hard to articulate. You know, like logical, factual penises are always valued over touchy-feely vaginas. But our feelings and experience are so important when we're considering what's really true. Because it is not a fact that Donald Trump is Hitler too, smart people have been able to excuse him for too long. Well, I mean, smart-ish people. They've been able to dismiss all of us as we have screamed and cursed at the shadow of fascism, the fucking darkness on the edge of town on the way in, because claims of racist and fascist and psychopath must be proven. But that fact-based defense reflex has really met its match with this fucking guy, right? Donald Trump so blithely ignores reality most of the time, and the factual defense of him from these smart-ish people it's gone so far that it's all twisted up and crazy now. Like, people in YouTube comments with that actually tone of voice have been saying, like, the zaniest shit. The other day, I saw on a YouTube video of a Joe Biden speech, a YouTube comment that said, in what way can you prove that Putin is a dictator? And yes, maybe some of my unease about emphasizing facts come from the sort of people who do it. You know, for years now, nerdy male internet commenters with a boner for their high school debate teacher have forced us to endure their intellectual preening. You know, it started with internet atheists, and it spiraled out to Gamergate, Ghostbusters, critical comments about female guitarists, conversations about rape culture, conversations about police shootings. That's one of the worst ones, right? Like the random guy who shows up in your mentions when you retweet something about a police shooting to tell you about how maybe the officer was justified for shooting that 8-year-old. You know, let's wait until we get all the facts about the 8-year-old who got shot. That guy. And God help you when some guy you at least sort of respect drops a blog post that's called, you know, some thoughts about X, like a strategically calculated number of days after some national controversy or tragedy or whatever, offering his fucking sober, even-handed response. These are people whose stake in the world's problems are always theoretical at best. You know, Paul Ryan is one such douchebag. We are just not in a moment that calls for sober and even-handed responses. These are wild times, and we gotta row our boat as fast as the waves are coming. we're keeping our ear to the ground, so we don't have time to have our head all lofty up in the clouds. We can offer what we see and what we feel, and we can recognize how meaningfully that contributes to what we know. Welcome to the last podcast. I'm your host, Zach Little.
I really don't. I can't remember. I really can't even remember my childhood. I think I blanked that all out as like a thing. It's like that was a write-off. That was a write-off period.
I don't remember that much about my own childhood, except for the stuff that I started to document myself.
Oh, okay.
But there are years. Like, what was I like from ages 6 to 14? I don't know.
Yeah.
No idea.
That's so strange, though, isn't it? Like, you could have done anything. You could have murdered someone.
That's
like,
true. I wouldn't remember.
You have no idea.
Sometimes I think there are, like, not bad things, but there are, like, things that I once was ashamed of or embarrassed by or something that I literally did just forget. I willed them out of my memory. And,
oh my god.
You know, and they're really gone. It's not like the kind of thing where, you know, this still happens to me. You lie in bed at night and you remember some embarrassing thing you said to somebody, you know, 6 weeks before. Some of those still come up, but some that I know I once used to remember and cringe about, gone.
Gone.
My boyfriend's here.
Oh, that's cool. Did he have a saxophone around his neck?
No.
Oh. It looked like he had like a strap thing. It looked like there was a saxophone.
I know what you mean, though.
Yeah. I mean, he just looks like the kind of person, I just saw a glimpse of him, but he looks like the person that could conceivably bust in with a sax.
Oh, if only. If only. No, I played flute in high school.
I played drums.
I wasn't allowed to play drums. Get this. So, in the 6th grade, you pick your instrument in band, right? And I wanted to play the drums as well as 2 other girls. And our high school band teacher, middle school and high school, said girls aren't meant to play drums.
Really?
Yeah.
Wild.
So, like, I ended up picking the only thing I could make a sound out of, and that was the flute.
Yeah, I can't imagine how people play, like, brass instruments. The mouth formation thing,
yeah.
I don't understand. And when I see bands that have, like, a lot of brass in their lineup, I just think, what must even the 4th day of tour be like? It must be so brutal. On, like, just imagine, think about how uncomfortable you are when, like, your lips are too chapped or something, you know? I mean, there's so much facial discomfort that I, like, can't put up with that I could never be. I could never be a trumpet player.
And it's a good thing, because most trumpet players are awful, but I love, like, trombone players. Those are the best kinds of people.
Just, like, in demeanor?
Yeah. They're so much more laid back.
Well, that's because a trombone, it doesn't have, like, set keys, right? It's, like, sort of vague positions. Mm-hmm. So they're not as rigid people, you know? They really go with the flow. They're like, you know, I mean, the note's, like, around here somewhere, man. I don't know. It's like, it's here. It's here. I don't know. It's like this.
Somewhere around here.
Yeah.
I played flute for a really long time. Well, like 7 years until my senior year of high school. Mm-hmm. And in between those, I had to reset my armature, or your mouth formation, 3 times because I got braces, got them off, and got them back on again.
Uh-huh. And that is taken into account with a flute.
Right. You have to relearn everything about, like, how your mouth is placed to actually make a sound.
Oh, yeah. This is it's too much pressure on the mouth. You know?
Too much.
I mean, the great thing about playing a drum set is the pressure is dispersed among 4 limbs. So, I mean, the guy from Def Leppard could lose an arm and keep playing drums because you're still at 75% capacity. So, geez, I could not. I really fell into the right instruments. You know?
Yeah, but you guys had to do paradiddles and stuff.
That's true.
That's a thing I could not do.
You know what the great thing about a paradiddle is? Every time I'm like hanging out with a little kid, like somebody's, a nephew of mine or whatever. Like I have nephews now, but they're babies, so not them, but like sort of like the kind of relatives that you can't quite name, like wife's cousin's kid. I don't know what that is. But whenever I'm hanging out with people like that, first thing I teach them, paradiddle. Every brother-in-law's girlfriend's kid, I'm like, we're like stuck talking to each other. I'm like, hey, want to learn how to play a paradiddle? Kids love that shit.
That's too hard. I had to think about it the whole time.
That's because nobody taught you when you were like 5 years old. You start to get in there. I don't know. I think I took drum lessons starting in like 4th grade. It was great because I was a naive enough kid to really idolize like the drum teacher guys. These kind of like long-haired hippie dudes, and they would like play music I'd never heard of before. They were very encouraging. Much cooler than any athletic coach I ever had to deal with. So I had like a series of different drum teachers, because also drum teachers are the kind of guys who like get fired or flake out on their jobs or literally vanish from town. So so I went through a lot of them, but it was like a conveyor belt of like positive male enforcement or something.
That's crazy how you're able to find that kind of support. I think. I don't know.
Yeah. It took a while, though. Because, like, my parents tried to put me through a lot of different, like, sports and that sort of thing and other, like, organized clubs, and it was all just disasters, And then, the arts, what little pockets were left. You almost feel like if it weren't for a couple of kids, like me and a couple other people, showing interest in that sort of thing, it might have all gone away. I went back to my hometown recently, and I went to my high school for the first time, because I had this whole policy of like never go back. But the whole place got rebuilt, so I thought basically none of it exists anymore, so I can go. And I visited my old my mentor guy. He used to run the TV station, and they have like this amazing setup now. And the kids do the school announcements over video, like live so nice. TV broadcast. And there's all this amazing equipment and the studio and everything. And he said, like, basically nobody's that interested in it. And I was like, I can't believe this.
If that was here while I was there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Although, sometimes I also wonder about, and I think about this in terms of, like, creativity a lot. If I'd had all of the equipment, all of the possibility in the world, would that have been as good? Wasn't it nice to have to be able to invent a lot of shit out of, like, duct tape and cardboard in order to do the things we wanted to do? We built so much when we were making videos as teenagers because we didn't have what we needed. So we would build camera rigs out of garbage and duct tape and everything. And now probably we could just like get a dolly, like we could just get one instead of making it out of PVC pipe. So would I have had as much fun if I had all of that given to me? And is that why nobody's having fun now?
That's a lot to throw at a person.
I was more worried that I would say something and it wouldn't come across as intelligent or smart, and then I was like, oh, you'll just put some backwards piano keys and stuff and make it sound better.
Yeah,
I'm
trusting. That's what I do.
I'm trusting in you to add just a soundscape.
I observed a long time ago that Michael Jackson would cup his hand around the microphone when he was singing lower notes because his voice was quieter when he sang in a low voice. So he's trying to keep the volume consistent.
Yeah, and Tay Zonday would lean away from the microphone to breathe in, right?
Yeah, sure. I don't know who that is.
Tay Zonday of Chocolate Rain?
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know Chocolate Rain. Or I probably do, but I don't know by name.
Somebody needs to sit you down and show you, I guess, memes from 2004, I think.
Oh, okay. See, I was assuming that was like a 70s Motown band I hadn't heard of.
No, Tezande is just a YouTuber, a one-hit wonder YouTuber that you probably haven't heard of. I don't know why I thought it was appropriate to bring it up.
That is a really sad. That's the saddest variety of one-hit wonder. Is the YouTube one-hit wonder?
Oh yeah, I mean,
yeah.
is it sadder on my end that the stuff I post, it going viral is over 100 views?
No, because honestly, at this point in the economy of YouTube, nothing that makes it over 4,000 views is good at all. It's all of it is garbage with like a self-sustaining zombie audience. That's all that. Anything that's successful on YouTube now is not good.
Okay. I'm glad you're trying to make me feel better about it all.
And the other thing is that YouTube is one of those social networks too. That and it is a social network. It's not just like a platform.
Yeah, maybe. Why do they call it a social network when it's really an anti-social network? You know, it's kind of removing us all. We're not able to talk in person anymore.
That's very poetic.
I know. I wish somebody would have said it before me, but I guess I had to say it.
Yeah, I think you were the first person to ever make that observation.
Well,
the YouTube doesn't work anymore. Is my point.
So what would work, I think, as far as creating content? Just doing some Facebook live streams?
Until a week ago, if you were maybe Snapchat.
Okay.
But now, maybe you have to become successful through fucking Instagram stories, which, I give up now.
So you're saying Instagram stories ruin Snapchat?
I think they might be about to. I'm not sure. I just got into Snapchat. I just got there. And I feel like I got to the party right as it was ending.
Me too, but I don't know. I don't know if I can hop over to Instagram now. Give me like 3 more years and I'll ride the tail end of that. Well,
Instagram is still like where, my like aunts and uncles like look at pictures and stuff, that's not my audience.
True. I think I'm trying to find the last pure social network that I can use that my family is not on right now.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's Peach.
Yes.
What the fuck's Peach? I can't figure it out.
The first and last social network. If Pokemon Go would let you, like, fuck with... actually, like, connect and fuck people, then sign me up.
Well, someone was trying to explain the virtues of Pokemon Go to me, and they said, you meet up with people, and you hunt Pokemon, and then you go to a bar, and then sometimes, like, a 12-year-old kid gloms onto your group, and I was like, well, I'm out already. 3 sentences in, I'm out.
I ended up going to boarding school when I was 16, and it was one of those math and science ones, even though I was not a math and science person.
I've always wondered what that would be like, those math and science schools. Is it that different, you think? I guess you wouldn't know.
Oh, it's totally different. My school was on a college campus, so it was like going to college 2 years early. You were living in dorms. You had like lights out and study hours and stuff. They were really strict in that way, but I felt like I grew up pretty quickly. That also gave me agency to be like the arts kid at school. I end up going to that school.
Yeah, especially at a math and science school, yeah.
Yeah, really.
Factors out all the other weird kids.
There was also an arts school, like a Mississippi School for the Arts, but they, I don't know, they don't take applications or something. I don't know. Also, 4 of my best friends went with me, so it was like we were taking... I didn't want to go without them.
Yeah.
And I just knew it as kind of the smart school. And I was like I was a B student. I did fine. I was smart in things.
But is it any wonder that you now like work in the arts? You went to a math and science school. This is exactly that kind of thing where like limitation creates more creativity. That I'm talking about. You went to a arts and you went to a math and science school, and
right.
And what it did was nurture your artistic side.
Right. No, I had a really great teacher that I had for like 6 different classes, and that nobody was really interested in except for me. So I was the theater kid. There were 5 kids in our class. So when I went to school for theater, I realized very quickly that I was not an actor, even though I thought I was, because I was the only theater kid. It's like, well, I better figure out something else to do.
And again, 5 kids
Yes.
in a theater department, that really nicely limits the different plays that you can do. You know, like
Yes.
a lot of waiting for Godot. I'm glad probably I can't go back and find my MySpace page. I'm sure it's gone.
I hope it's gone.
If I ever become like a national politician or something, I'm sure someone will find it. But I don't think that'll happen, so.
Well, if it does, I'm more afraid of Twitter for that, so.
Yeah. Do you ever think about doing those app things that, or the programs that delete all your past tweets?
No. I honestly, I mean, I probably knew that existed, but I also didn't know that existed.
Yeah, there are some that will do it, and they'll delete your tweets, and then they will keep a thing going where, like, every week they'll delete all your tweets from the last week, and it'll go that way forever.
Oh, damn.
And that's kind of tempting to me.
Maybe like a certain point, like if I feel like a lot of people know when they're on the crux of, like, you know, if I was to marry a member of the royal family, I'm gonna know before it's like public, so I would go ahead and do that so that all that stuff wouldn't be able to.
There should be like a German word for that. Oh, like where you go around and you just sort of like you clean up your internet past in preparation for some large event.
What's internet in German? It's probably internet.
It's probably internet, yeah.
I think that what's bad about being like looking at your Facebook and Twitter all the time and like having friends that you do interact with daily is that I go to parties, and if I'm just like flipping through Facebook in the regular work week, I go to a party and I talk to somebody, I'm like, hey, you were just doing this, and they're like, we have never talked about that. How do you know that? And then
so you do that though. You acknowledge the social network stuff.
Do you not? Should I not?
I do sometimes, but sometimes I find friends don't do that. Friends will sort of ask me, like, oh, so what was the deal with that? You know, and then I'm like, well, it was exactly as I said online. You know, like they saw the post but didn't read it, or they just want to prompt me to say something.
I mean, yeah, that could be one of the parts. It's just, hey, here's something between us that I know, you know?
Mm-hmm. But I like your approach better because you're kind of saying, like, what you're almost saying to the people at the party is, hey, let's skip the first 10 minutes of our conversation. Yeah. We have background knowledge, now let's get into the deep shit.
I think it's less of a skill and more of like a fault is doing that. Not knowing how to interact with people.
If they're not yes-anding you, which is the problem, you know, they need to understand that it's a conversational gift. Which, by the way, so is a podcast where you can talk to people that you've only talked to online, sometimes for years.
Yeah.
And you could just kind of get right into it.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
At this point, I don't know. It's like time has spiraled out of control.
You don't know how long or how you met people?
Yeah, well, like both. I don't know how I found people. I don't know how long I've known them. I'm scared to know how long it might be. You know, it might be many years. Which means that, like, the last 5 or 6 years of my life have been, like, roughly the same.
That's true. And, like,
I mean, things have changed, obviously, but if I can't place friendships and relationships anywhere with any physical, because it's all on the internet. So there's no physical locations or checkpoints for these online friendships. So it just kind of seems like they've gone on forever or just for the last day. Yeah,
I think Anthony Weiner could probably place his a little bit stronger.
That's true. For Anthony Weiner, there is definitely there's a BC and an AD of his his technological life.
Well, there's 2 BCs and ADs, right? There's 2 waves of it.
Yeah. Oh, I guess that's true. I kind of forget. You know, I realized the other day that I had been confusing and just conflating Anthony Weiner and Elliot Spitzer. And I realized that I did not know which was which, and I feel like because I've been seeing Anthony Weiner more recently, I don't know why, I think I followed him on Twitter or something.
You've been texting back and forth.
Yeah, we've been talking a little bit. He's on Snapchat now, he's learned his lesson. But I think the Elliot Spitzer has been wholly absorbed by Anthony Weiner in my brain. if I saw Elliot Spitzer on the street, it would be like one of those friends you went to high school with, but then you went to college with someone who looked like them, and they mentally got replaced.
Now it's just that's your friend.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to see him at all, or I would immediately mistake him for someone else. I think I have a set number of faces that I can have in my life.
I can have about 50 faces and maybe 10 names that I can memorize at all times. I don't know. I don't know my mother's or my sister's names even.
Yeah, they just because they were too low on the.
I'm at work. I only know those 10 people.
Yeah, it's sort of like how I feel like Twitter has a difficult time pulling the tweet handles of the people you followed for the longest. So sometimes when I try to tweet something at my friend Jory, it takes Twitter like a very long time to pull up his name because he's one of the first people I ever followed.
Oh, like in the search bar.
Yeah. So down at the bottom of the list of names, the first couple names you ever learned, yeah, those are the first to get pushed off, as more people get added to the top.
And if you change your Twitter avatar, you've completely lost me.
Yeah, it is funny when some people do that, or when it becomes too, when color-wise it starts to resemble somebody else. Then, you'll go a whole day reading one person's tweets in the voice of another.
I mean, exactly. And I feel like I had, maybe an ex or something tweeting something, and then, it was a situation where, a newer person that I was talking to had a similar avatar. And I was wondering which came first. What did I see their similar Twitters, and then I became interested personally with them, or I don't know how to explain the situation.
Well, I mean, given the frequency with which people's rebounds resemble the persons they were just dating, I would say, yeah, maybe the egg came before the chicken or whatever in this case.
Yeah, I mean, it was five twin sisters is the thing. I'm just making my way through the list.
Do you know anybody very well who has a twin?
Identical twin.
Yeah, like a real photocopy walking around somewhere out there.
A friend's ex-boyfriend has a twin brother, and they part their hair on different sides.
Oh, it's helpful if they're kind of distinguishing themselves the way that, characters in a Tim Burton movie would.
But it's not helpful if you don't remember more than 10 people's names. Mm-hmm. I have this thing to when I go to parties, I talk to somebody for 5 minutes. It could be about anything. They could, ask me to grab a drink or something. And then I just go, hey, what's your full name? Because I'll add you on Facebook or something. It's trying to connect with people in a way, and it's either going to be a 5-minute conversation that we'll never have again, or I can ask for your full name and I could try to make this something meaningful. But now I just that
is a very forward gesture.
Yeah, no, I like I said, social skills don't really exist with me.
Hey, this is a good party. Oh yeah, hey, you want me to grab you a beer? Yeah, sure. Hey, listen, what's your full name?
I mean, I would go so far as to ask for their social security, but in with their birthday and what their hobbies are.
Yeah.
Know if they're having a hiking picture as their profile picture.
What are the major genres of a profile picture? Holding a baby, holding a pet, hiking a mountain.
Mine's just alone, in front of a mirror, flexing my muscles.
Then there's ironic and unironic arm
flexing.
Flexing.
Tell me this. Ironically, I think it would start in your head as ironic, but say you got super buff, right? You decided today's the day. I'm gonna get ripped. I'm gonna just get some gains. Would you take a picture in front of a mirror of your muscles?
Like an after I'm ripped.
Oh yeah, would you use the here's my before picture, here's my after picture as an excuse to show off your new muscles?
Maybe. I think I would probably take a lot of pictures and just be extremely unsatisfied, even if because I have like a bad enough body dysmorphia that I would never be happy with the picture. So there'd be a million pictures in the deleted section of my phone, but they would never actually end up anywhere.
You just look at them and cry sometimes. It's therapeutic.
Yeah, I don't know. Would you post the picture?
As of now, I would say no, but I don't know. I haven't been in that situation before. I don't know the mind of somebody that's ripped.
It's hard to know what happens to you along the way.
Yeah, we need to call them. Oh, let's call them up right now.
I do actually have a friend. I have a friend who is a Boston area rapper, and his name is Russell. And oh God, what is his? Oh, his rapper name is Big Sko Goody, something like that. Big Sko Goody, I think. Anyway, he is, in the years since I have last seen him, which is 2 or 3 years, he something happened. Some serious Bruce Banner, gamma ray. It's crazy what he looks like now. It's terrifying, and I don't even know how he moves around.
And the worst thing to hear whenever that happens is somebody's just like, "Oh, I stopped drinking," and then
that's always what it is too. I know, it sucks.
With shame. And if I had time travel, I would just go straight to 1993, my freshman year of college, when my dumb ass was heading out onto the quad with my 12 string that actually only had 11 strings because I could never get the double G to not break. And I would say, "Hey, David." And then I would look at my young self, would look at my old self. And I don't know if I'd recognize me because I've gotten a lot better looking. But I would say, "Yes, strange, handsome man with a really nice beard who's talking to me from behind a bush." And old me would say, "Go back inside with that guitar and don't play it out here." And then I would say, "But listen, it's gonna inside you now, okay? Please, you're embarrassing me." And I would say, "Oh, are you old me from the future?" And I would say, "Yes." And then young me would say, "Well, how's it going to turn out?" And I would say, "Just look at me." And then young me would actually say, "Well, I guess it turned out fine with me playing this guitar out here." And then old me would probably say, "Okay, well, that's actually a very fair point. Who knows? We might butterfly effect this and things could turn out much worse. I could die in a skiing accident if I don't play a 12-string guitar in a small liberal arts college quad on a Saturday night by myself under a tree, hoping someone will see it and think I'm really poetic." So then both of us, old me from now and young me from the past, though of course I wouldn't realize I was in the past then, we'd be in a quandary about what to do. And that's why you really shouldn't time travel.
Today's episode of The Last Podcast featured the voices of Paul Neafcy, Ryan O'Connor, Leslie Datsis, Jake McKay, Mary Akemon, and David Connerly Nahm. It featured a clip from Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, and the music of the Pinch Hill Orchestra, as well as our in-house organist Morgan Little and Weezer. Thanks for listening. See you next week.